What is your agency worth today? I mean, what could you sell it for? Now, a while ago, I put out a valuation formula where you could actually figure this out. But I wanted to give you an update just because as the market changes over time, your agency is only worth what someone's going to pay for it. And I want to give you a couple different options. Now, if you're new to the show, this show is all about going over strategies and helping you grow your agency much faster. My name is Jason Swenk. I ran and sold an agency for many years, and my whole goal is to provide a resource I wish I had. So make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell button so you never miss out on a new episode. What's up, everybody? Jason Swenk. So the formula has changed depending on where you're at in your agency. Now, if your agency is under the $1 million in net profit, and I say net profit, a lot of people think, well, my agency does $10 million in top line revenue, and maybe there's media spend in there. You're like, oh my gosh, I can get a multiple on that, or I could sell it for at least that. Not necessarily true. Look, I know you guys want to create a scalable agency that gives you the freedom to do what you love, but you're too busy and you constantly are wasting a lot of time and you want to get to the next level. And so you think, well, I can create freedom by selling the agency. And that's true. So let's go over kind of some of the valuation things that I see in the marketplace right now that we're really getting a lot more involved in mergers and acquisitions for agencies. First off, if you're under $1 million in net profit, let's use a hypothetical situation. Let's say you're at $200,000 in EBITDA, net profit, just to keep it simple. Well, if you looked at your growth rate over year and you used the old chart that we put out there, you'd be like, oh my gosh, my agency is worth a ton. But not necessarily is true. You might find a buyer out there that will pay that, but they're an uneducated buyer. And there'll be more upside later on. And do you really want to go with someone that's an uneducated buyer, especially if you have a lot of money tied to the back end? So let's use this example. You're $200,000 in EBITDA. Usually it's around 1 to 2x. So I say that with a heavy heart. Now you're like, oh my gosh, Jason, you've just killed my day. I'm not worth as much anymore. And you have a couple opportunities. So if you're going to sell out, let's say you're getting burned out, you got to look at the reasons why you're getting burned out. Maybe there's just one little thing, right? I remember I used a video about you're shooting frozen chickens at a window and it keeps breaking. Well, if you unfroze the chicken. So maybe the company buying you could unfreeze that chicken where you can grow and scale faster and you can use their infrastructure. And then you would do all the things that you want to do. So it does create you that freedom. Now, so let's say you're at 200,000, we do a 2x, that means you're at 400,000 valuation. Now, are you going to get 100% of the cash? Absolutely not. You're probably going to get a small lump sum of cash up front. Maybe 20, 30, 40% maybe. The rest is going to be tied out in a performance-based, where the owner of the new entity is going to pay you over time if you hit certain metrics, because it's risky. So you got to think it's risky for them. So what do you want to do? So do you want to build it up to where you can get to the $1 million? Like you're probably thinking, what do I need to get it to? Well, if you can get it to around or over $1 million in EBITDA, you're in a whole different realm, okay? We just had a client we were working with for a couple years. We got them to over $1 million in EBITDA net profit, and they sold for an 8x multiple. Now, that's usually uncommon. Usually it's around 5x is if you can get to the $1 million mark, so you can get 5 million, and 80% is going to be in cash and the rest is out because it's predictable. And then you can have freedom in that. Now, if you can get over the 3 million in EBITDA, now it's upwards of 8. If you can get over the 5 or 7, now it's just sick numbers. So I want to give you that kind of reset, because everybody's been going off the old valuation thing that I did and saying, oh, this is for every kind of agency. When we did that, it was just a suggestion. Remember, Your agency is only worth what you're willing to sell it for and what someone's willing to buy. But the market right now is around the numbers I just shared with you, the multiples. And you just have to decide, do I want to sell now or do I want to keep grinding? And if you want to keep grinding, I want to challenge you. You need to do something different, right? You just can't be going, oh, this year we didn't hit it. Oh, this year we didn't hit it. Stop changing your goals, change your strategy. That's the biggest thing I want you to walk away with of watching and listening to this episode, is change the strategy. Don't change the goals. And I want you to create an agency that you love, that gives you the freedom. So I'd love to hear your comments below. And until next time, have a swank day.